Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe, and today we are going to be talking about the actually insane number of events we have going on all at once, to the point that it risks being a little overwhelming actually. We have GDA alerts, we have some summoning events, we have a brand new character, and we also of course have the usual stuff with the Cecil's Nightmares that requires criminal characters. We're not going to go over that one today just for the sake of time, but basically there is a GDA event going on where you'll face off against GDA heroes and other various heroes using your criminal characters, Maulers, Titan, Seismic, Angstrom, any of those characters you can throw in and get some loot. But we're not going to worry about that right now, because if we click on events here, holy crap, we've got a ton going on here. So I mean, obviously we've got the headliner here, but we'll talk about him in just a second. First thing I want to do is I do want to go over the GDA alerts. We'll save best for last here. We have a choose your GDA op, we have a usual kind of character GDA alert, and then we do have a GDA White Room going on. Now, the GDA White Room is related to Damien Darkblood's notebook here, as well as giving you artifact XP. Basically, what this will do is any human enemies just get a debuff of 8%, at least at base. It's a simple artifact, but there are a lot of human enemies in the game. Most criminals, if we're including the rare criminals, a few other characters here and there. There's something to be said for just a permanent debuff. I mean, it's simple, it's not the best in the world, but it's far from the worst, so it is an option. Now, that said, I would prioritize the other two GDA ops first, and let's talk about that. First of all, we have this one. This is our standard severe risk GDA alert, usually lasting around 4 hours. In this particular event, you throw in your characters, and this has a chance to give you Earth's Defenders heroes. More often than not, it will give you rare characters like Martian Man, Aquarius, and Darkwing. So great for food if you're trying to build any Earth's Defenders heroes. And as always, you do have the small but existent chance of getting elite characters. So sometimes you can get lucky. You might get an Invincible, you might get an Omni-Man. Always exciting for the chance of that, but worst case scenario, you can at least get some much needed food. Now, what's kind of interesting here is we actually have another one going on for the latest Choose Your GDA op that was hosted on the Discord, and this one is actually another character one. This one actually gives GDA faction heroes. I have not gotten any yet, but characters like Duplicate, characters like Rexplode, Black Samson, with again a chance of elite characters. I've actually gotten 2 elite characters from this one. I got a Shrinking Ray and I got a Bulletproof out of this one, which was actually kind of crazy. So I've had some good luck out of this one. But what that basically means is we have 2 separate GDA alerts going on at the exact same time that gives free characters. That's kind of wild, actually. That's actually insane, and especially considering that Earth's Defenders and GDA faction heroes have got a lot to love. I mean, no, yeah, these 2 are the ones you definitely want to farm. Also, the Choose Your GDA Alert event does also have the lab coins, just like usual. So not only are you getting characters, but you can get lab coins that you can use to get other characters. I don't have my best teams going at this right now. I've kind of got my B and C team going on, just because as of right now, I've got my A team trying to farm up these stinking molecular enhancements, because I really, really want to power up Universe's Epic Plus skill. It's just, boy, howdy, that grind takes forever. So I'm just kind of working on that right now. And honestly, my B and C teams are still getting me plenty of characters from these 2 events, so I'm not too concerned with it, honestly. Let me just get my rewards here, always good. And then I've got a couple level 1 teams running just for the paltry rewards. a little bit's better than nothing. That's kind of where we're at right now. I thought, okay, yeah, I don't know why it's giving me a message on that one, but that's okay. So, enough beating around the bush here. Let's talk about Russ Livingston, the brand new character being added to the game. Now, just to give I'm not going to give a full analysis on him just yet. That will come in a future video. But he's basically coming to us as a support from Worlds Beyond character. I was very unsure what he was going to go as, because he could have done a few things. There was an argument for GDA. There was a teeny argument for criminal, although that would have really been a stretch. But the most likely one, and the one that turned out to be the case, was from Worlds Beyond, because quite frankly, he may be human, but it really is the SEQUIDS running the show here. So, he looks utterly terrifying, I will say. I've said it before. I actually do think the show's design translates pretty well to this game, honestly. Between, like, Angstrom over here and now Russ Livingston, they really do make the freaky characters look good, and I appreciate that a lot. And even the characters, just, like, in general, like, of course, you know, Invincible and on me, and I think they look pretty good, honestly. But anyways, I'm getting distracted here. With this event, this is very similar to the Doc Seismic event, with a noteworthy teeny upgrade that's pretty important. I might be mistaken about that one, actually. I'm over here thinking of shop levels, but actually, since Russ is going to be in the main shop for now, that's not really a factor, so scratch that. But basically, this is the exact same event as the Doc Seismic event. We've basically had two types of new character events. We just saw the kind of the favorite, the big one with like Universa, and this is kind of the lower level one, but lower level does not necessarily mean bad, and let's talk about why. There's two parts of this event. First of all, Russ is temporarily in the main recruitment shop. We'll take a look at that in a second here. But at the same time, we have two things. First of all, we have a needed refresh. Players have access to fixed price shop refreshes. This applies to the recruitment shop, and it actually applies to the equipment shop too, if you care about that sort of thing. So basically, any refreshes you do for the recruitment shop will always cost 20 gems while this is going on. It will not increase in cost at all. So a nice little thing there. And in addition to that, we have a double elite rate. So not only do we have fixed refreshes, meaning you can refresh as much as you want without having to worry about the price going up, but the elite drop rate is doubled. When we had this for Doc Seismic, we did do a summoning video on it, and we got some pretty cracked pulls, I'm not gonna lie. Some nice stuff happened there. And then in addition to that, we do have some missions here, focused specifically on recruiting heroes, recruiting from Worlds Beyond heroes, and then refreshing the recruitment shop. All of these missions here can give you dossiers. Most of the time it'll be one dossier per mission, but every now and then you get like 2 or 3. Three's like on like the big thresholds, like recruiting 100 heroes. When you get to that point, that's when you might get like 3 dossiers. But basically, you get rewarded for doing your summons with a few extra dossiers. Now let's actually take a look at the shop here, because like I said, there's a lot going on here. First of all, the refresh rate is completely fixed. You actually see it here where it actually says it for the equipment shop, but it does apply to this as well. It's just it's currently being a bit overridden by the double elite rate notice here. But whenever you refresh this, if you've already used your free refreshes, it will always cost 20 gems. And then looking at the shop level here, we do have the double rate kicked in. Normally this would be clocking in at around 6.5. Instead, we're at a whopping 13%. For some comparison, shop level 10 of the recent, I believe it was the faction event with From Worlds Beyond characters, that one capped at 10% at the maximum shop level, which if we're talking about the regular recruitment shop, you top that at level 4, which is pretty easy to get to. I'm currently on level 6, so my elite hero rate is at 13%. If you're all the way at level 10, you're looking at almost 18%. And then, of course, a couple things here. First of all, Universa is now officially added, and then Russ Livingston is in the shop as well. So what this means is it's not a dedicated event for him per se. You'll notice he does not have any higher rates than any of the other characters, so he's sharing an equal amount of that 13% with everybody else. Now, I actually was fortunate enough to just get him on a random hourly refresh, which was pretty sweet, not gonna lie. But don't go into this specifically aiming for Russ. Of course, if you do get a few copies of him, then great. He does look like he's at least going to be a really cool utility character. We'll definitely get into that in future videos. But the odds of you getting him versus any other character is pretty low. Let's not deny that truth. It's only sitting at about 0.65%, which is the same as everybody else. But that's not really what you need to be concerning yourself with. The simple fact of the matter is this event is insane just for raw rates. I mean, we've got an Invincible right here who just randomly popped up. If I needed Invincible, that would be great. I actually posted on the community tab of my channel an insane triple that I just randomly got from an hourly refresh with Invincible, Omni-Man, and, ironically enough, Russ Livingston. So that is amazing. Tons of elites you can get from these this event. If you want an example of this event in full swing before, take a look at my mega recruitment video from when Doc Seismic was released, and that will give you a pretty decent idea of what you can hopefully expect to get from this event. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my free refreshes here. Let's see if something crazy happens. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Will I do any summoning on this banner or this event? I haven't really decided yet, honestly. It is really freaking cool. Oh, just got a War Woman. I am not going to summon a War Woman. There is, it's pretty common opinion that the specialized new character event banners or new character events are better. The ones that have the dedicated event shops. However, I will posit that this has a teensy-weensy advantage in that any summoning you do on this, like let's say you tank up, let's say you go to the shop, refresh your gems and dossiers and such, to do a big summoning on this event, it will all count to your basic shop level, your main recruitment shop level, which is a long grind. It's a long grind. So that is a little side benefit where you can really get some very nice bang for your buck on that one, but that's more so up to you. I will say, if you haven't saved up resources or you're free to play, you might get your enjoyment of this event could be a bit limited. I will say, not unlike the faction recruitment event that we had earlier, this kind of demands either spending or an aggressive amount of pre-saving. If you're just getting into this with nothing but a couple hundred gems and one dossier, you're gonna have a hard time really gleaning anything from this event. That's probably the biggest downside. With the dedicated character events and the character event shop, it has its own like GDA alert with its own currency and all that jazz. Even if you're completely free to play, you can get something out of that. This one, it depends. Even you might get, if you're like a free to play and you haven't farmed beforehand, you might get a couple characters out of it. You might get some luck just from the hourly refreshes. So from that point of view, I can definitely see how some low spenders, free to plays might get a little bit frustrated with it. But hey, at least you have the chance. Even if you do just get a couple dossiers from your usual dailies and from the Cecil's Nightmares, hey, if Russ and another character or something pops up in this shop, you can't complain, you know, that's still pretty okay. Double elite rates are still double elite rates. But that is all we have for today. Lots of stuff going on here. I am stretching my teams to the limit. I'm not doing the artifact GTA alert because, for one thing, I don't really need this one, frankly. And, I mean, as you've seen, my teams are already stretched to the breaking point as is, and I'm still trying to farm up a couple things here. So I'm just like, you know what, we're 2 for 3 ain't bad, and we're just going to leave it at that. But that is all we do have for today. Let me know down in the comments below if you've gotten any Russ Livingstons. We'll definitely talk about him more in the upcoming videos, so look forward to that. Maybe subscribe and ring the bell if you want to get notified of those videos when they come out, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.